One of the richest men in Africa uses $100 million experiment to engineer Africa's next billionaires. Welcome to Solid Finance Podcast, and it's Finance with Abbas. On today's episode, we'll be talking about Tony Elumelu's foundation, a foundation that is meant to grow young entrepreneurs in Africa. Mind you, it's not loans. It is grants. He is giving out $5,000 to over 3,000 Africans to help push their business plan. Before I continue, do well to like, do well to share, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more finance contents from us. Just days ago, in a historic conference in Abuja, the world watched over 3,000 young entrepreneurs being chosen to have their luck engineered. Mind you, it is not a lottery. It is a blueprint. Tony Elumelu's $1 million mission to fund over 3,000 entrepreneurs to help them grow their businesses. The gates are open and open to all Africans. Let's watch a video where the CEO of Tony Elumelu's foundation had to speak about the impacts of the foundation on young entrepreneurs in Africa.
Chief Executive Officer of the Tony Elumelu Foundation, the leading philanthropy empowering young African entrepreneurs from across all 54 African countries. Today's announcement represents an affirmation. It shows that young African entrepreneurs are not choosing to wait. They are choosing to start to build their futures and build businesses that will help create more jobs, help eradicate poverty, and help us ensure inclusive economic empowerment across our continent. So today is a celebration, is an affirmation, and is a demonstration that this is the era of the young African entrepreneur, and we're proud to continue to support them. This year's selection is special because in 1 year, in 2026, the foundation will be disbursing $16 million in seed capital, direct grants to 3,200 young African entrepreneurs from across all 54 African countries. That's exceptionally special to us because we want to continue to scale the work that we do so that we can support thousands and thousands additional entrepreneurs.
Yes, so we've heard from the CEO of Tony Elumelu's foundation. She has spoken about the foundation picking randomly across 54 African countries, meaning that this opportunity is not only for Nigerians. Mind you, it's not just about you going to get the money. After the money, you're going to get free classes, free coaching, and free mentorship. So you should be in for the right to become a serial entrepreneur and also be willing to create jobs for other Nigerians who are unemployed. Since 2010, the Tony Elumelu's foundation has been on a $100 million mission. But the 2026 cohort is different. Out of the 265,000 applicants who made it through for this application of the grant, only 1.2% of them were picked. That is, over 3,000 people were picked and are going to be given the $5,000 to help with their business plan. Now, I'm sure most of you are wondering, why is Tony Elumelu investing in Africans? Why is he opening a foundation? Why is he helping young entrepreneurs? Now, Tony Elumelu's foundation is doing this because Tony Elumelu believes so much in Afro-capitalism. Tony Elumelu is of the idea that the private sector that is led by you is the only thing that can fix our continent, Nigeria. The foundation didn't just give money. They invested $16 million into young African entrepreneurs, ones that have the African raw potentials. Other people are also wondering, how were these people picked? How did they do it? How did they choose? How are they even able to apply? Now, I'm going to answer all of that question. The process to be picked in the Tony Elumelu's foundation for this grant is as tough as Ivy League's admission. The first step is the digital gate. Every applicant has to pass the cognitive and the business test on the TEF Connect. Now, most people who weren't able to pass the cognitive and the business test were dropped from the very first level. Now, those that passed the first level were being brought to the second level. The second level is the training marathon. If you didn't finish the weeks of intensive business management, you'll be out from this level. Finally, the last step is the audit. To ensure zero favoritism, they conduct a free and fair audit. That is, they look for 3 things from these applicants: feasibility, scalability, and impact. When I talk about scalability, they think, can this business grow to be able to employ other unemployed people? When I talk about impact, will this business keep the community going. These are the 3 major things that they look out for in every applicant's business plan. So I would like us to take some videos from the applicants from 2022, 2023, and 2025.
I'm Fatma Zahra Matoug. I'm from the body of the 5K grant from the Tony Elumelu Foundation. Yeah, and about 3 years ago, something like that. And I just wanted to tell you, it helped me benefit my country. So basically, we were able to empower more than 400 handicraft creators in Tunisia, through education and select opportunities. It was the first push. It was the first grant we received. And after that came more grants, etc. I'm currently in San Francisco studying entrepreneurship and innovation to be able to benefit my country better. I just wanted to personally thank you. It was my first grant and it was my first push. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Purse says, do Nigerians benefit from this grant? Makisito says, this is so lovely and motivating. Thanks, Mr. Tony, and wish you more successful adventures. So let's look at the video from someone who benefited in 2023.
Okay, my name is Leslie, and I'm a beneficiary of CX grant in 2023. It helped me. I resigned from my job and I focused on my business. And last week I was at a boot camp here. I was doing some innovation about using banana stem fibers to make banana stem fibers to make paper. That's what you do now. That's what I do. That was what I got the grant for. I do sustainable packaging, paper bags, craft paper, regular craft paper. What's your name again? Yes.
Well done, eh? Congrats. Do you employ some people?
Yes, I have.
How many people work with you?
So right now I have about 7 staff.
About 7? From 1 to 7?
Yes.
Congratulations. Make us proud.
I will.
Play your own role in.
I'd like us to take some comments. That one says, congratulations. Yola says, this is inspiring. Let's look at a video from someone who applied in 2025 and was also picked. She has a thing or two to say.
Elumelu grants for young African entrepreneurs. You qualify if you're an African, you're young. You either have a business plan or you already have a business that has started small and you know you need funding. That's when you apply. Preliminary registration is very important. Ensure that you take it very seriously because that is going to determine what we take it to the next stage. You can use ChatGPT to guide you with your business plan, but remember that ChatGPT is a tool, not your voice. You just make it what is going to assist you, but it's not going to entirely tell you what your business is. You're the only one that knows your business. Please be authentic. That is what is going to keep you ahead of the curve. So also ensure that you are not putting a saturated business. Trust me, except it's genuinely what you want to do. Don't go into agriculture because you feel like agriculture makes more sense. Nah. The first time I was applying, I put agriculture. That was when I did not get it because I was just scratching the surface. The next stage where you would be having like the business training where they'll tell you all you need to know, financial management, all of that, elevator pitch. So it's about 13 modules. So you have to make sure you attend all your classes and ensure that when it's time for the test, you do your best. Register that business because you don't want to do last minute. When you finally get selected, you would not want to like start thinking of how to register the business. Personally, I did not register my business. I just submitted it that my business was not registered. And maybe because that was my second time, I made it to the next stage. Like you will be tested. You will be tested on video call. They are not even, let me not tell you guys, they are not even going to tell you that they are about to call you on video call. They are just going to call you. The day they called me on video call, I was on bike. I had to calm down and stand behind the kiosk to answer that video call. And they started throwing me questions from the training, from the business management training. Ensure that your information is consistent. And at the end of the day, they're going to ask you certain questions again that you've already answered. And if your information is not consistent, to be honest, it's going to give off you are just lying. So
before the end of this video, I'm going to be telling you guys date of when to apply and when the registration actually closes. Now, for this year 2026, Tony Elumelu made a very, very bold statement. He said, for the first time, 51% of the selected entrepreneurs are women. Mind you, he did not pick these people because they are women. They were picked because they passed the tests and they did their due diligence. Let's watch a video to hear what he had to say to young entrepreneurs.
The advice for Nigerian and African entrepreneurs or young ones is be hopeful. If Tony Elumelu could make it, you too can, ever even do better. So let's keep the hope alive. And tough times don't last, tough people do last. And when I started, it was worse than this. It's never a time in your life that you can or should ever give up. Just keep persevering. In the long run, the opportunity will come. For those who are on the continent, let's support them to do well so that they will be shining examples and signals for others to come back home.
I'd like us to take some comments from the comment section. So Tienko says, if Tony Elumelu can do it, I want to do it also. I only pray to God that one day I may be there. Food says, thanks for your encouragement. Destiny Adeniyo says, great idea, sir. Tony Elumelu has been able to create 1.5 million jobs across Africa. This is what great vision can do. Let's watch what he has to say about being rich, staying rich, and being a millionaire.
You need to be able to see beyond today, because it is in trying to see beyond today that you create a unique business opportunity and advantage. And if you're able beyond seeing to now actualize it by working hard, then it makes it a lot easier again. So first message by way of inspiration is that as entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, we need to have the ability to see beyond today.
Let's take some comments from the comment section. Ohamidike says, I have just memorized and will act on it, seeing beyond today. Now, this is one thing you need to remember. The Tony Elumelu Foundation grant comes every year. January 1st, 2027. The gates will be open and will be closed on the 1st of March 2027. Register early so that you can also be picked among those who will get the grant for next year. This Tony Elumelu Foundation Conference 2026 was very big. A lot of top celebrities and Nigerians attended and they made a lot of comments. But I'm going to take one person's video that stood out. A video from a popular movie producer, Sonia Uche. I'd like us to watch the video together.
Welcome you to the 2026 Tony Elumelu Foundation announcement.
What we're experiencing today is more than support. It's transformation through the Tony Elumelu Foundation. In the words of our indefatigable founder, Mr. Tony Elumelu, CFR, the future of Africa lies in the hands of its entrepreneurs.
My belief and my colleagues here is that no one but us will develop Africa. The future of our continent is in your hand. What we do at the Tony Elumelu Foundation is not because we have so much, but because we see it as self-enlightened interest to make sure that everyone is given the opportunity to succeed. Thank you all for sharing this with me.
Fatoma aka Joby says, congratulations. KJ Sarah says, she carries grace and elegance with class. Knowing her is loving her, favor that only God can give. May God, Lord, continue to bless her. And more journeys, amen. Mind you, even with the fact that he has helped over 3,000 people, he still feels that he should do more. I'd like us to watch this video.
We get over 300,000 applications. And because of resource constraint, we are only able to support about 5,000, 3,000, between 3,000 and 5,000 every year. So if it's minuscule, if 350,000, 400,000 people are applying, and you're only able to support, say, 5,000, it tells you we are just getting started.
Right.
It tells you, so there's no question of next 10 years, next 15 years.
That's so true.
We just I want to be able to at least meet a third, if not a quarter, a third or a quarter of the applicants.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, the foundation is set up to help democratize luck. But where 400,000 people apply and only 5,000 get successful, then you're killing luck. You're not democratizing it.
LP says, for me, you are better than the president himself. God bless you always, Mr. Tony Elumelu, for your good works. Iko Williams says, Africans will forever be grateful for your philanthropic strides. Your visionary idea has become a household name now. I do off my heart, sir. If you applied last year, if you applied year before last, if you applied 3 years ago, if you applied this year and you weren't picked, that's not a sign that you should not believe in your business. That just means that you should try again next year and make sure you do changes to your plan and try to make it more authentic. If you found this information helpful, do well to like, do well to share, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Solid Finance Podcast, for more finance content from this channel. Until next time, bye for now.